for a quick Devar Torah. And this week's Parsha, this week we have Parshat HaHodesh. We're getting ourselves ready for Pesach, or Passover. The first mitzvah we received as a nation is, of course, declaring the new month. And it sort of seems strange. Of all the mitzvot you could think of, what is this one all about? And the answer is a free people set their own time. It's a very important issue. Slaves do not own watches. They will be doing what their master tells them to do. And God is getting us ready for our freedom. Now remember that one of the interesting things that recurs throughout the rest of the Torah after we leave Egypt is we keep getting reminded, I'm the Lord your God who took you out of Egypt. You know, the beginning of the Ten Commandments, this is what God says. So why does God harp on this? And why this thing with Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month? It is to remind us something very important. God did not take us out of Egypt because he didn't have anything better to do, or that just because we were enslaved. There are a lot of people who were enslaved at that time. Remember, slavery was the norm throughout the world up until the 18th and 19th centuries. The thing is, God took us out for a reason. He took us out so that we would show the world what a godly nation is. And the first step of that is declaring the first of the month, declaring the Passover story, that this is why God took us out of Egypt. And if you look at the Haggadah is basically a crash course in Jewish history. It is showing all the things that happened throughout our history, both the good and the bad. And of course, we know in the Haggadah, Moses is not mentioned, he's mentioned once. Okay, and that's in passing. The rest of it is what God did. But it's showing us that we are now entering history, that God is the God of history. And this is why the Shabbat before Nisan, we celebrate the fact that Nisan is coming, and which means that Passover is coming, and we have to get ourselves ready to receive our freedom from bondage, from idol worship. Also, that one of the interesting factors, when the Torah talks about idol worship, it's not talking about idol worship in the fact that people are just bowing down to statues. Remember, Pharaoh was considered a god in Egypt. It's anti-tyrannical. We just went through Purim, where the crux of the story is that Mordechai refuses to bow down to Haman. That we, as a people, we only worship God. And remember that in the Jewish kingdom, one of the unique things about it is the prophets could criticize the king and then walk away. The king could not punish them for criticizing them, because the king knew he was not a god and that he was not a religious authority. The religious authorities were the priests in the temple, and the king could not be a priest because he was from the wrong tribe. So this is all wrapped up in what we're doing tomorrow with Parshat HaHodesh and getting ourselves ready for Passover. Something to think about.